This is homework number 5, and this is a preview to solving quadratic equations. I want you to just watch and not write. This is just to help you with some future problems. In homework 2, you learned how to solve simple quadratic equations that were factorable. It was an equation in standard form with an x squared term, an x term, a plain number, set equal to 0. And our job was to find the number that you can replace x with so that this side of the equation calculates to make 0. The problems like this one were factorable. Remember these steps? We put an x here and an x here. That gives us our x squared term when we multiply our firsts. And then we're going to put a 6 here and a 1 here, because 6 times 1 makes 6, and 6 plus 1 will add up to our middle term, 7x, when we FOIL this out. So it's doing FOIL backwards. Then using the zero product property rule, we know that either this piece, this factor, or this factor has to equal 0 when you multiply them, so we get 0. So we wrote two mini equations. If we want this piece to equal 0, then what number we put in for x, when added to 6, has to equal 0, and the solution was negative 6. Putting negative 6 here added to 6 will give me 0. 0 times anything will give me 0. The other little mini equation, x plus 1, this piece, set equal to 0, x would have to be negative 1 when I solve this. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0, multiplied by whatever we get here. I guess it'll be, 5. That'll give us 0. So this is how you first learn how to solve simple quadratic equations. The equations that we're doing in this chapter, this unit, though, most of them are a little bit more difficult and have either irrational answers or imaginary answers, so we're going to need the quadratic formula. I'd like you to pause the video right now and grab an index card and write the quadratic formula down on it, because you want that right in front of you as you work. So pause the video and grab an index card or a small note card. Alright, hopefully you're back and you did that. Quadratic formula. Let's write it down. Quadratic formula. Here it is. X equals the opposite of b. Notice how I say that, and I will always say it that way, and you'll see why in a moment. Plus or minus big square root sign b squared minus 4 times a times c all over. Notice how the quotient bar stretches from underneath the opposite of b all the way to the end of the square root sign. 2 times a on the bottom. This formula will only work when your equation is put into this form: ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. This is the form your equation has to be in before you get started. All the terms on one side and in order: highest power of x, next power of x, and then the plain number. Alright, take this little card with you as we go on to solve another quadratic equation in the next video.